Welcome to the Explainer. All right, today we are putting on our detective hats, our cosmic detective hats, because our solar system has a visitor. And this isn't just any visitor, it's a mysterious object from another star, and get this, it's breaking all the rules of physics as we know them. So the big question is, what is it? So back in July of 2025, astronomers spotted something new, something hurtling right through our cosmic backyard. And its path? Well, it was just weird. It was moving way too fast, coming in at a really strange angle. And that was a dead giveaway. This thing was not from around here.
They officially named it 3I/Atlas. Now that name tells a story. The 3I, that means it's only the third interstellar object we've ever spotted. Ever. And Atlas, that's just the name of the telescope survey that nabbed it. For scientists, this was like winning the lottery. A chance to study a piece of another solar system, right here, up close.
And the speed? Wow, we're talking absolutely incredible. After it did this slingshot maneuver around the sun, it was clocked at over 152,000 miles per hour. I mean, think about that. That is so fast that our sun's gravity has zero chance of capturing it. It's not here to stay, it's just passing through.
So yeah, this thing is a traveler. You could almost call it an emissary from another star system entirely. And here's the kicker. With every single new observation, this cosmic detective story just gets deeper and stranger, and honestly, a whole lot more fascinating.
Okay, so let's get into it. Why is this object causing such a stir? To really get a handle on that, we need to look at the timeline of its visit. It was brief, but believe me, it was dramatic.
Even though it's just passing through, its little trip through our inner solar system has been absolutely packed with action. It was first caught on camera back in May, then officially discovered on July 1st. But the big date, the one you really need to remember, is October 30th. That's when it made its closest pass to the sun, and that's a really key moment in this whole story.
You know, even before that big, dramatic flyby of the sun, 3I/Atlas was already acting weird. It was breaking all the rules for how a normal comet is supposed to behave. The first clues were kind of subtle, but they were definitely baffling. I love this quote from Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb. He just nails the early weirdness perfectly. He said, "It's like finding an animal with a tail growing out of its forehead." And he said that because the very first red flag was its tail. It was pointing in completely the wrong direction.
Yeah, check this out. Back in July, the Hubble Space Telescope got a good look and saw a jet of material shooting out towards the sun. That is the exact opposite of what's supposed to happen. See, the solar wind and all that radiation from the sun always pushes a comet's tail away from it. This was just wrong. And it was just the first of many strange things.
But okay, the real mystery, the heart of this whole puzzle, started when 3I/Atlas made its big turn around the sun on October 30th. This is the moment when things went from just being kinda strange to being truly unprecedented. So as it came out from behind the sun's glare, telescopes all over the world were just shocked. The object had suddenly flared up, becoming 5 times brighter than it was before. Now, for a regular comet, there's really only one way for that to happen. It had to have violently blown off a huge piece of itself.
And the physics of this is just staggering. I mean, the calculations show that to get that bright, that fast, this thing had to shed at least 13% of its entire mass. Just try to imagine that. It's like something losing more than a tenth of its entire body weight in one single explosive moment.
Right. So an explosion like that, it should leave a mark. It should produce this enormous, totally visible cloud of gas and dust. So naturally, every astronomer on the planet immediately pointed their telescopes right at it, searching for this debris field they were expecting to see.
And what did they find? Incredibly, nothing. Absolutely nothing. No big cloud of gas, no debris field. The pictures just showed this bright object, but no sign of all that material that the laws of physics demand should be there. The mass was just gone.
Okay, so the missing debris, that was a total bombshell. But believe it or not, that was just the beginning. In the weeks that followed, a whole series of baffling discoveries started to pile up, painting this picture of an object that, well, it just defies any easy explanation.
So they did what's called a spectroscopic analysis. Basically, they figured out what it's made of, and its chemical makeup is totally backwards compared to any comet or asteroid we've ever seen. It has more nickel than iron. Now that ratio is super rare in nature, but you know where it's common? and alloys that we produce industrially right here on Earth.
All right, the next clue is a little different. It didn't come from the object itself, but from the dust around it. This gets into something called light polarization. All that really means is scientists can study how light bounces off dust particles, and that tells them a lot about what that dust is like.
And what they found here was, again, totally unprecedented. The light scattering off this thing's dust, it polarizes in a way we have never ever seen before. Not in any comet, not in any asteroid. In fact, the odds of this kind of thing happening naturally are calculated to be less than 1%. It's that rare.
And honestly, the list of weird things just keeps growing. It's suddenly turned green, but it doesn't have the chemicals that normally cause that color. For months, it was just coasting, only affected by gravity. But then, right after it passed the sun, some other force just switched on and started pushing it. Its path also lines up almost perfectly with the plane of our planets. That's a 1 in 500 coincidence. Oh, and for something that's supposed to be a dirty snowball, it's incredibly dry, only about 4% water.
So you've got to ask yourself, what could possibly explain all of these super unlikely things happening with just one object? All this data has really pushed scientists towards two main suspects, and they are wildly different from each other.
Okay, so on one hand, theory A. This could just be the single strangest natural comet we've ever seen. Maybe its weird properties are just what happens after billions of years drifting through deep space. But on the other hand, theory B, the sheer number of things that don't add up has led some scientists to consider something extraordinary. The alternative? That we're not looking at a rock at all, that we're looking at a piece of technology.
So where does this whole cosmic detective story go from here? Well, the investigation is far from over. In fact, the race to find the answers is really just heating up.
Right now, there's a massive worldwide observation campaign underway. We're talking our most powerful telescopes, Hubble, James Webb, the whole crew, all pointed at this thing, trying to gather that last bit of data we need to crack the case. And what's the #1 priority? Finding that missing gas cloud. Because if it's really not there, well, the natural comets theory is in some serious, maybe even fatal trouble.
So, the final verdict still isn't in, and 3I/Atlas, well, it's already on its way back out, heading into interstellar space. And it leaves us with this huge, profound question. Are we looking at a piece of alien tech, a messenger from another civilization? Or is this object a message of a completely different kind? A cosmic reminder that the universe is just so much stranger and more surprising than we can even begin to imagine.